This episode of Soldier Knows Best is brought to you by Shutterstock.com. Hey, what's up guys, Soldier Knows Best here. Now, I've been an iOS user almost since day one. I got the first generation iPhone in 2007, about a month after it was released, and I've been using it as my main phone ever since. So I've seen the progression of iOS over these past few years, but if you probably see me on record here lately, I haven't been really all that impressed with iOS, especially with the release of iOS 6. And don't get me wrong, I still use, I still use an iPhone for my daily phone. I still use the iPad and the iPad mini for my tablet, but I still think the progression of iOS is kind of still in that 2007 type of mind frame where Apple is really making the iPhone for everybody. The iPhone can be used by little kids, it can be used by older people and everybody in between, which this is a good thing. It's a phone that appeals to every single person, not just the geeks, not just the tech people, not just the kiddies, not just the kids or the teenagers, but every single person out there. But I think that it's finally time for them to go ahead and start making some changes and making more complicated changes. And when I mean complicated, not just stuff that's going to be harder to use, but stuff that not just because every user is not going to use it or won't understand it, I don't think they should not put that feature in. I think they should add features in there, even though it may just be for the tech savvy people out there, but at least you just have some stuff in there for that segment of people out there. Because I think now, if you look at 2013 compared to 2007, where smartphones are really just starting to come out, I think that now the average user out there who's using a smartphone is comfortable with their phone now. They may want more features. They can understand the features better than in 2007. Again, the majority of people. So I think Apple, especially with iOS 6, they made a little changes. Do not disturb, VIP mail, all those things are great. But I think when it gets to the core things that you use on a daily basis, I mean, just changing my brightness. Again, I argue this a lot. I hate having to go into settings every single time just to adjust my brightness when I go into a movie theater, when I'm in, in somewhere where I need to turn the brightness down at nighttime in the club or something like that. It should be a toggle in the notification center or something like that. Little stuff like that just really start to irk me. But I look at Android, which I think, over these past few years, especially for the past year and a half or so, I've really become a huge fan of it. I like most things about it, and just things like multiple user support on tablets. I think Google has it down pack as far as the way the features that they update in the OS and the timely manner that they do it. Now, the problem of getting that OS on your phone and the fragmentation and all that stuff, that's a whole different story. But if you have the Nexus phone or one of the latest phones out there, you can get the latest updates, again, at a reasonable time. You're able to get a lot of cool features at least twice a year from Google, where Apple is still in that once a year update time cycle, which I don't think that's totally bad. But I think if you're going to be waiting, an entire year to add new features to your OS, you better be wowing me. I mean, an entire year now, you better, which is an eternity in the tech world now, but for an entire year, you better be bringing something to the plate where I'm like, I'm stepping back. Like, whoa, I have to get this. And with iOS 6, I really didn't get that feeling. Now, they dropped the ball with the maps, of course, we know that, and they spend a lot of time and resources on that when I think they really didn't need to. Just keep using Google Maps. And I think that really set off some changes in Apple, from Scott Forstall, kind of the lead iOS guy, getting fired, and now Johnny Ive, which is the brainchild behind all the cool designs for the MacBook Air, MacBook Pro Retina, and iMacs and things like that. Now he's taking over a lot of the major roles of iOS, and he's going to be bringing his vision to iOS, which I'm excited for. And I've said this before, I'm really excited to see what Johnny Ive can do. He's a genius with design, so if he can really just bring that over to iOS, I think that would be cool. Plus, him and Scott Forstall didn't get along at all, so they kind of hated each other. So I think that'll probably be extra motivation for him to really just make iOS something totally different, something totally his, which I don't have a problem with. All right, so I've been talking too long, so I'm about to end this video. But again, this has been my mini rant on iOS. Again, I love the OS. It's a great OS. It's what I use daily. But I think that it has a lot of potential, even though it still has the best applications. It easily has the best applications on the market, or at least gets the best apps first before they moved over to other OSs. I think Apple can really learn a thing or two from Google and the way they bring new features to Android and really keep Android fresh. When I use the Nexus 4, it just felt like another fresh experience. All the little changes with the notifications, slide down, and you'll be able to change the quick toggles and things like that with Jelly Bean on the Nexus 4. It's just awesome. And I think Apple can really say, hey, we can take a break from playing it safe and really go out, add some new features, and really expand their just the OS the way they can. They have all those geniuses over there in Cupertino and Apple. I think they can easily do this. But anyway, guys, I'm about to end this video. But before I do, I'm just going to take one let's look at our sponsor for this video. And today's sponsor is Shutterstock.com, which is the place to go when you're looking for stock photos, vectors, illustrations, and video clips to use with your content. You can sign up for large image packs, monthly subscriptions, or just grab a single image for a blog or a mockup. And so you can head over to Shutterstock.com or just install their iPad app to get started, and there's no credit card needed at all. And when you find the images you want, you just use the offer code BEST1 to get 30% off of any package. Again, Shutterstock.com and use the offer code BEST1. All right, guys, again, thanks for watching this video. Please leave a comment down below what you think about iOS. What new features do you want to see? Are they falling behind Android? What are your thoughts about this whole debacle? Anyway, guys, thanks for watching, and I will catch you later. Peace.